What up, Vapers? This is Kev, aka In Our Clouds, aka We Vape That, because we vape that. And I wanted to talk about a few things today. But first off, I wanted to show off this little bad boy. This is a box mod I just created some time ago. A lot of work went into this baby. This is my first, and it's going to be my special one, my little baby. I also made one for my wife. It came out like cleaner, but we'll get into that. It's Kev. It's vape time. Let's go. Whew. My goodness, am I proud of this thing. Okay, so let's get into it. This is my box mod. Um, it's a little messy. You can see where I had a little soldering going wrong. That soldering iron is hot as a mug. This is a plastic box. It's a little bit bigger than the ones that you've seen. It's very conventionally the 1590s that people use in 1590Bs. They're fantastic, and that's cool. And they're metal, aluminum. They get that thing on. That's perfect. But for me, I wanted a little bit room for my first box mod because, it's my firstie. So that's what's looking like inside. All the parts are a little bit sloppy as far as the soldering go. I'm not very great at it, but I made one for my wife. Like I said, it came out a lot better, just much better machining on that one. And I got a lot of wires in there, so I know I got a low voltage drop in here and there. But it's my first, man. First dual parallel box mod, and she hits like a beast. Check. Just freaking all kinds of awesome. So yeah, very proud of this. So I wanted to just throw this up on there right quick. But I wanted to talk about a couple of things that are not bothering me in the vape world, but things that pretty much need attention. Just the brightest light shined on it. And there's a little bit of good and there's a little bit of bad. Let's start with the good. I want to talk about customer service. I want to talk to y'all about a situation that happened to me today, and it was awesome. Well, actually, it's been going on for a couple of days. I went to Voltage Vapin because I said I would. Was going to film something, but once I get into the world, like I had my camera around my neck the whole time. And once I start getting into the vape, I start getting into the vape. So that's what I did. You know what I mean? I went in. But Jay from Voltage Vaping, what up? We got down to talking about everything. Bought the Onslaught. I'm like, the Onslaught clone, it was great. Great piece of machinery until I started tooling with it, was making my coil, and one of the negative posts popped off. Now this happens. This happens very often in the vaping community where you get a piece of something and it breaks for whatever reason. But what I do like about this thing that we call vape life is that you can go and talk to someone from that company, from that business, and they'll do their best to make things right for you. And you have to shine the brightest light on great customer service. And here's what I'm doing now. Jay I actually got a chance to speak to Jay, like talk to him. And on Facebook, I told him that the Onslaught, the one of the negative pins popped out. He was like, "Oh, no problem, bud. Just bring it back to the shop. We'll get that thing square for you." But as I said, I was working on my box mod. She's my baby. But I didn't have any batteries for her. I had a couple of batteries lying around, but I like to swap out devices. Like, I like to swap out batteries for my devices so that I'm constantly vape without losing anything. So I was like, you know what, Jay? I'm going to bring back this Onslaught, but I'd rather have batteries. Is that fine? And he told me it was cool. Just let him know when I was coming, which I did. So when I went back to the shop, switched it in, they actually fixed the Onslaught on the spot. On the spot, they fixed it, which was awesome. But I didn't want the Onslaught anymore, so, the next person will have a fixed device, and that'll be awesome for them. But I wanted some batteries, and they changed it out for me, no problem. Now, that's great customer service, and that's what I would expect. But also, if we just expect it, we won't glorify it as much. I feel like vape life is the only life I've known where you could get across the board great customer service. A lot of the mom and pop shops don't mind getting their hands dirty every once in a while, putting together a coil, checking out your device, making sure it works. These things are common in the vape world, so I'm going to give a great big up to that. If you have a mom and pop shop that's your favorite hangout spot, please go ahead and give them some props, man, because they've gone all out to make sure you enjoy this thing that we call vape life. So yeah, big shout out to Voltage Vapin. Link in the description. Please go check them out. Great on customer service. That being said, let's talk about this bad thing that I've been coming across. Now, this was highlighted by Master Chief, but I'm going to get into a little bit just because when I hear about things like this, it makes me very upset, very mad. And I'm a peaceable person most times, but when things go unjustly, when things go wrong, I get a little hot under the collar. I start flexing a little bit. My fangs start to show. I get the little John Tapper voice on. You know what I mean? So instead of being hot about it, I just want to let you people know what's going on right now. There are a lot of stories out there as far as the vape life goes, where people are saying that people who choose e-cigarettes or people who choose vaping get lung cancer and heart disease. Now, I don't know a lot about science and I haven't done the reports, but I do know a lot of vapors that have had their lungs feel better and that have no problems with their hearts, or if they had a problem with their hearts, it pre-existed. It happened before they started vaping, and it was a cause of those dreadful, diseased cigarettes. But there are a lot of people out there who are misinformed. Now, these misinformed people, by whoever they got informed by, they are a victim of disinformation. Now, there's a difference between misinformation and disinformation. I actually had to look it up. I had to thank my wife for that. She's a little bit smarter than I am. So yeah, I looked up the difference between misinformation and disinformation. You know what the difference is? Misinformation is when you spread information that is incorrect that you don't know about. It is unintentional when you spread misinformation. It's because you don't know what's right. You don't know what's wrong. Disinformation is when you know you're wrong. You absolutely do know you're wrong, but then you spread it anyway. Now, when I say victims of disinformation become misinformed, after a while, they know that they don't know, but they spread that weird gospel anyway, that vaping causes heart disease, vaping causes lung cancer, vaping is worse than actual cigarettes. Are you kidding me right now? But they don't know. And because they don't know, but continue to spread that information anyway, they are now disinformation agents. And that, my friend, is not going to fly with me. If you don't know, well, why don't you ask somebody? There are a lot of vapors in the game. Vapors who make YouTube videos just like me. Vapors who actually are out and about. You've seen them. You've seen them smoking their e-cigarettes or blowing massive clouds. You've seen them in the game. And they'll be happy to tell you that yes, this is a much better alternative than those cigarettes that have been getting smoked. Much better alternative. So why then would you choose to spread information about how bad vaping is as opposed to how bad cigarettes are? Why would you do that willingly? Now, I can understand if you've never smoked in your life. But what I don't understand is you've never smoked a day in your life. You don't understand what it is to put down a cigarette and then go looking for the next best thing. You don't understand what that life is. But for those who do smoke and then try vaping, if it didn't work for them, say, you know what? It didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. Now, you might try it and you might enjoy it. To that I say kudos. You are not a victim of disinformation. You are not an agent of disinformation. Congratulations. You are up here with the rest of the people that spread vape life across the world. You are a great person because you're keeping it 100% real to yourself and to your others. But there are people out here who have never tried vaping in their lives, smoke cigarettes, and then tell other people that vaping is dangerous for them. For those people, you're the worst. Do your homework. Talk to vapers. There are people that have been vaping for 1 year, like me, 3 years, like some other people, or 8 years. People have been vaping almost 8 years. I didn't even know it existed back then. And they'll tell you what they know from their lives. There's a whole massive group out here that can tell you different. Find out the information for yourself. Make the choice for yourself. But then, don't go spreading disinformation. Don't go spreading misinformation. Because if you do, you become an agent of disinformation. You don't want to do that to yourselves. And for God's sakes, why would you knock the safest alternative to cigarettes out of somebody's hand with the information that you learned 10 seconds ago? Okay, I'm off my soapbox. My goodness. So proud of this thing. I love it. Okay, sum it all up. Box mods are awesome. I went to the Facebook page exclusively Box Mods. They pretty much showed me everything I need to know. There are also some pretty interesting videos on YouTube as to how to put your own box mod together. But that doesn't mean you can't go out and go buy a box mod also. That's also an alternative. So please, enjoy your vape however you like. Exclusively box mods, I'll put that link in the description below. Voltage Vaping for the great customer service they gave me. Thank your brick and mortars, people. Thumbs up for that, and I'll put that link in the description below for Voltage Vaping. Check them out. And don't be a misinformationist. Don't be a disinformationist. Okay, those words I might have just made up just now. However, you know what I'm saying. Don't be that guy.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Oh, that was hilarious. Funny. Till then, this is Kev, aka In Our Clouds, aka We Vape That, because we vape that, man. Vape on, vapors. Whew. Go vape now.